Hello, Coach Jason here. Today we're going to be looking at how to find tactics. Deflection. We're going to look at several examples of deflection in this video, and I will also be reminding you that you need to think about the four categories to create all tactics. That is checks, captures, loose pieces, unfortunately placed pieces. Also at the end of the video I will show you some of my swordplay skills, which should be fun, so stay tuned. But yeah, let's go look at some examples, and I'll encourage you to pause the video and think about them as we go. Let's get into it. Okay, as always, we're playing the king on the bottom half of the board, so this is white to play, and I think we can actually checkmate in two moves. So white to play and checkmate using this idea of deflection. So we're trying to deflect a piece away from its defense of a particular square. Go ahead and pause your video if you want to go ahead and solve this on your own. Alright, of course we got to consider every check, capture, loose and semi-loose piece, and we want to be looking out for unfortunately placed pieces as well. This one here is kind of like an overworked piece. There's one piece that's guarding against two threats at the same time. Couple checking moves, so the category 1 up there. But we can actually play either knight takes a7 check, which would be checkmate if the queen wasn't there, or we could play queen to d8 check, which would be checkmate if the queen wasn't there. I don't think it matters which one we play. Grandmasters like to be fancy, and not that I am, and sacrifice the queen, but queen captures, and then this is checkmate. Alright, again, we're playing the king on the bottom half of the board. This is simply just a win of material. Black to play and use this idea of deflection to win material. Alright, so it's black to play here and win material in two moves. As always, you want to consider the checks, captures, loose and semi-loose pieces, unfortunately placed pieces. So go ahead and pause your video if you want to think about this. But it's kind of category 4 in this case, and for a couple of reasons. Well, category 1 as well. We can play this checking move, and then the rooks are facing off. We end up applying 2 attackers to the rook on c1 at the same time while we're applying checks. So there's no way to really deal with this, so they're going to probably capture our knight. We win the rook, so we win the exchange there, using these 4 ideas and this tactic deflection. Alright, white to play here. Use this tactic of deflection. You can go ahead and pause your video if you want to think about it. But the queen is semi-loose, so she's a semi-loose piece, category 3 there. King is defending and the queen is attacking. So if we could deflect the king away, then we would get a queen. So we can actually sacrifice our rook here and we win the queen. So definitely a good deal for us. A queen, we win a queen for a rook. Alright, as always, the king on the bottom half of the board to move. So black to play and use this idea of deflection to win material. You can go ahead and pause your videos if you want to think about it. But the queen is defending the f7 square. If the queen was not protecting f7, we could just checkmate. So we can force the queen away with a sacrifice of the rook. They have no choice. And checkmate. Okay, so white to play here and use this idea of deflection once again to win material. You can go ahead and pause your video if you want to think about it. But we've got to consider every check and kind of how that affects things. We can actually set ourselves up to play. There's a serious threat we can make here. We could play bishop to e6, attacking the queen, and the bishop is immune from capture, because if we play bishop e6, then the knight could capture, and the queen captures. If the queen would have captured, then we could have went to g7. Knight g7 check would have won the queen. So they move away, and now we can just go ahead and dislodge the king. I think that's what they're looking for here. Just only winning a pawn here, but also dislodging the king. So kind of a big problem for black, that his king is now in trouble. Probably just pull back here And that's, I think, all they were looking for in this scenario. Okay. King on the bottom half of the board, white to play here and win material in 2 moves using this concept of deflection, this tactic I should say of deflection. You can go ahead and pause your videos and think about it. But okay, yeah. The queen is semi-loose here. We're attacking it, defended by only by the king. It's only defended by the king, so if we could somehow deflect that king away, we win the queen for free. And of course, here we go. They'll probably capture, and we win the lady. Okay, again, it's white to play and win material in a couple of moves, 2 to 3 moves it says. So you can go ahead and pause your video and think about it if you like. Yeah, we've got kind of some nastiness here. The queen is guarding the knight, our queen is attacking, so this is a semi-loose piece. If the queen wasn't there, we'd also be forking the king and the queen, so we could actually sacrifice our bishop here. If they take it, we win the knight and the rook. Not sure what they... yeah, so they go ahead and take the bishop. And now we win the knight, but we also win the rook too. So we traded our bishop for a knight, but using this tactic, deflection, we also win the rook. Alright, it is white to play and use this tactic of deflection to win material. Consider these categories up top there. So go ahead and pause your video and think about it. Alright, so there's a checking move that's interesting here, this knight to f7. That would be a smothered checkmate, essentially, if it wasn't for the queen being there. So if we could somehow deflect the queen away from defense of that pawn, that would be a good way to go. So we can't play like queen to f4 or anything like that because that would still defend the pawn, but we can play this crazy move here. And they really can't save the queen. If they move the queen anywhere, we're going to checkmate. So they're forced to move the rook over to support that square. And we win the queen for absolutely free. And we can checkmate now anyway. So, yeah. So again here, we have white to move and win material in a couple moves. You can go ahead and pause your video and think about it if you like. It's kind of like an overworked piece. The queen has got too much going on. So we can go ahead and capture the rook, and she won't be able to defend the bishop anymore. So we got 2 pieces for the price of 1 using this fantastic tactic of deflection. As promised, I will show you some of my swordplay moves, which should be fun. But first I want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to know about other videos like this, as I will be posting several videos per week. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button over there in the bottom right hand corner. Don't forget to hit that notification bell if you want to know about this video and more like it, as I will be posting at least 2 videos a week.